Western world, Europe, Asia, is any different?
Well, I have no weather here, so I could.
I would like everyone to please see that Mr. Kangai from the Zimbabwe African National Union and Mr. Mkube from the Zimbabwe African People's Union and Mr. Makanda from the PAC and Mfundi Boda from the African National Congress, who were also originally part of this press conference, but were were on stage because of the lateness of the time. And they're representatives from the liberation movement and can also answer your questions on developments in Southern Africa and how it relates to this concert.
Now, they're right here, 200 yards from the spot where we're standing. A black family was bricked and bombed out of their house by 40 white people that live there in the area. Now, this thing happens all the time in Boston, and we're sick and tired of it. And, you know, we can't even walk down the streets without people asking us to cut our hair or beat us up or something, you know. And now here's, you know, a good festival of unity here. We got people from Roxbury, we got people from all over together, black and white, Chinese, Indian. Now the prophecy come down, you know, the red, black, yellow, white, you know, we're together, we want the light. And we want to know, like, can we move out and take it, you know, is it time to, you know, we've been tired of being under for so long, can we move up?
I don't know, when you walk down the street the other day, anybody hit you?
They tried.
Well, then you can't move yet.
How can we divert the funds here? Like in South Africa, you know, they're fighting with guns and killing people. We have been killing enough, you know. We've got to stop and get some peace.
I think what you have to do, you cannot ask the people that's gathered here to do more but than to understand and sympathize with what's happening out there. But that's your job.
I'm trying.
And, you know, you should feel kind of sad that you let us come into an area that wasn't safe. I mean that. This is your turf. If I invite you down on my farm and dogs and alligators down there biting folks and carrying on, I feel like that's my job to change it. And let me tell you something, man. If you really sincerely do not believe that you cannot change that little jive mess right outside these walls here, then y'all in trouble.
I believe.
And that's what happened down Mississippi. Them people down Mississippi didn't get nobody from here to come down there. They fought that stuff till they couldn't tolerate it no more. And then after they moved, we moved. That's what happened.
I've been here a long
now,
time.
y'all move, and I'm sure everybody will move with you. And that's what it's all about, though. But ain't nobody going to come in, because to come in and deal with your problem without being invited, without that thing, we met with. You know, so you just go on out there and deal with it.
We're having problems of communications, getting people together, you know, like we're trying really hard, but like things like this happen, you know, what can we do?
Maybe I should address my question before to the members of the Pan-African Congress and African National Congress as to where you get the most support from as far as geographically around the world. I mean, money coming in, some concert like this, people getting together in the idea of unity or whatever, support of South Africa. Where does most of your support come from geographically?
The support for the struggle in Southern Africa is international. It comes from the progressive socialist countries, where we have a great deal of support, and it comes. Socialist countries, yeah, the Soviet Union, Czechoslovakia, and Cuba, and Vietnam. It also comes from the Western countries, where we've got fraternal organizations supporting our struggle, the anti-apartheid struggles in the United Kingdom, Western Europe, and now we find that our struggle is growing up a lot in this country, and the reason that perhaps that our struggle is really picking up in other places is because we had a greater presence in other parts of the world before we really came in here, and we are finding that we are really growing, our struggle is really growing in this country.
Does the place where you get support from geographically, like Russia, United States, is that in any way intimidating which way the change, if any change to take place in South Africa, which way the change is going to go? I mean politically, I mean...
No, brother, we are masters of our own destiny. We know where we are trying to go. We know we're trying to free our people. We are masters. We have our own agenda, and we know we have fraternal associations with the progressive community. But we are principally, first and foremost, masters of our own destiny. So that's irrelevant there.
To add to Comrade, on behalf of the Pan-Africanist Congress, I should also like to say that we get most of our support from the African people, the African governments. That's where most of our support comes from. And of course, we also get most of the support from the progressive peoples around the world.
Excuse me, you feel that the growth of the movement in the United States is of particular importance, especially in regard to the fact that both large business interests and the U.S. government contribute so much to the repressionary regimes that exist in South Africa and Zimbabwe now?
For the Pan-African Congress, I would say that we definitely think that the United States is very vital, especially in regard to Azania. As you know that, for example, they've got about more than 1,000 this year corporations in that part of the country. So that us working together over here in the United States is going to help towards it's going to help towards a great deal lessening the oppression that is perpetrated by the corporations that exist in this country.
Mr. Marley, I understand that your management insisted on having $23,000 expenses for your date here today. Do you think that's in keeping with the spirit of this event? And if not, do you plan to make a personal contribution?
Right?
I was told that you will work with Haymarket Foundation.
I don't know. I
expenses for your trip to $22,000.
Well, let me ask you this here. Traveled once with Stevie across the country. Yeah, and for him to move his equipment and his thing from California to New York cost in excess of $150,000. So first, because, you know, to say that to a lot of people out here that don't know, first you got to find out. I was talking to one of his guys that came in from London. First you had to find out where they were and what they were doing, you know, and what these hotels cost and how many people here.
Well, I'm not saying it may not be legitimate expenses, but I think that one of the stated goals of the concert is to raise money.
Well, first I think you ought to find out what he would get per concert. Yeah, that's one thing. Because, see, when you get to be a superstar, you can make as much as $200,000 a concert, and $23,000 ain't nothing. See? And so, and I'm just saying this here because I take the question as an insult, because I think you should go back and ask the people that told you that to give you the figures, then present it to him. Just don't hit him with something, because his manager might know what it was for and he don't.
I never heard of that before.
Is it what he just said he never heard of? But I think...
Don't you think that the love and vibration that you sent out just was more, contributed more than the financial part of it, in terms of the message?
We would like to, I'd like to say something speaking on behalf of ZAPU in the Patriotic Front. There are two things we see in this concert. That is, one, to raise funds in assistance to our situation, with many refugees being thrown out of the country by the fascist regime. And secondly, we also want to find a way to communicate with you. We are not out to make anyone in this country starve in order for us to be liberated, because this is not our goal. Otherwise, then we are going exactly against what we are here, what we are struggling for in our part of the world. We are not going to make it impossible for the artists, the cultural artists who have come forward to join this important struggle, to make it impossible for them to exist on a day-to-day basis. Rather, we must make it possible for them to continue their work so that they become the means by which we are in touch with you. We would never have been able to summon the nearly 15,000 people out here today if we said we wanted to talk to you. we would not have been able to do that. But through their understanding what is happening, using culture, using the basic media of communication common to all of us, they have been able to say a message much stronger than any one of us here would ever be able to communicate in this short space of time.
If I could add on behalf of ZANU, a component of the Patriotic Front of Zimbabwe, what we are concerned about is the spirit of solidarity that has been shown this afternoon. Money cannot bring us everything, but the solidarity, the support from people coming out there as they did this afternoon is what we are after. It is like the traitor Bishop Muzorewa. When he comes out here, he doesn't have as many people out as we did today. So I personally, on behalf of our organization, would like to thank the brothers for their participation in bringing people out to show their support about our struggle. Yes, we do have responsibilities. We have to feed the refugees. We have to feed the people in the areas that we control. But we should not be like mercenaries who are out there for money. We are for a cause, and our cause is popular. This is what is reflected this afternoon.
You've been fighting for 500 years against the colonial powers. Now, I want to ask you something. On the threshold of victory that I think that we are attaining in this world, we have Somoza kicked out, we have the Shah booted. Now, these things are going to happen, and you people will take control of your destinies once more. Now, we've seen a lot of fighting with guns and a lot of killing of people all over the world. And everywhere we go, we hear of wars and death. And do you think it's time, like, if you win this war, if you're liberated, can you put down the gun? Can we become a world community? The only way we'll ever be able to attain anything as far as like the goals of the world is like by coming together. Now we talk to you, Africans to Americans, right?
We want a society where people will be treated justly.
As we understand it, that way you are definitely helping us without raising a gun.
Okay, we want to thank all the press for coming, and especially